Now behind me here is my stolen recovered 2023 Audi Q8. I bought it really cheap from a salvage auction. It's unrecorded, but there are some things wrong with it. And how much is it going to cost me to fix fully? Now in this video, we're going to find out fully how much it's going to cost to repair, because there are some nasty, expensive surprises. So this Audi Q8 Black Edition is only 2 years old, and the worst part is I had no idea what the mileage is because someone had damaged the virtual cockpit, so the mileage was completely blanked out. And as we can see, there's damage pretty much all over the car. Quite minor damage, but because the front bumper needed replacing, the parts weren't available from Audi. That's the reason the car didn't get fixed by the insurance company, and it got sent to Copart, where I picked it up just under £37,000. Now, trade value on this car is £51,500. So we've got £15,000 of leeway here to try and get this car fixed. Now, it doesn't look that bad, but there's a lot of issues with this car. Firstly, I can't even get in it.
What's it? What have I got stuck on? Oh, incredible. Right, there we go.
Oh, get in. Boom.
Wheels are looking straight.
And once I finally got into the car, that's kind of where my problem started, because although I had a boot full of parts, it was all damaged, it'd all been ripped out, not taken apart nicely. And I would like to say this was organised crime, but this was definitely disorganised crime, because they were intent on doing as much damage as possible to the car, which doesn't really make sense if they intended to try and sell it on stolen. I don't really know, but yeah, there was just so much damage, and it's going to cost thousands to rectify.
And my front camera's missing as well. Oh, brilliant.
But the car is my problem now, and this is part 2 of the Q8 video. So if you haven't seen the first part, go click in the top right hand corner now and watch that. And we're now going to be fixing the car, getting it back on the road with a few more twists and turns, of course. So after ordering a bunch of parts from TPS, which included a £650 grille, bonnet latches, just loads of little things, it totaled £1,000 so far. And as you can see, I've already fitted the front grille, and now I've got a bag of bits which included a front camera, bonnet latch cables, bonnet latch handles, all stuff that was just bizarrely missing.
Right, just trying to connect up this bonnet latch here, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. But who's bright-eyed? I mean, have they just done this to just piss you off? We've got the headlight here, and we've got our bonnet latch here, which I need to remove to be able to hook under the bonnet cable, because it goes right under the bottom there, and I just need to take it out, turn it upside down. But why have they covered up access to this bolt? I mean, look, there is nothing on this headlight that means you need this piece here. It could have just gone flush along there like that, and that bolt would have been exposed, and I could have undone it. So have they just covered this up just to piss you off? Because I now literally have to remove this trim carefully and the headlight, pull it out just to be able to undo that bolt.
Okay, so it wasn't that bad. I just managed to pull that trim off, undo the headlight bolts, and just pull it forward a bit. But that is because I had the front bumper off. If the front bumper was still on, that would have been a lot more difficult.
Now, just found something else a little bit odd. Just went to put the front bumper back on, and I found this pipe here. Now, initially, I thought it was the headlight drain, and then I was like, hang about, that looks like it's just some sort of clip. So I had a look, and the same on the other side, but it's pointing up. So I was like, well, it can't be a drain because it's above the top of the headlight. So I had a look, and it goes to the headlight washers. So I've gone on to an ECA diagram, and I've had a look at a Q8 parts diagram, and there seems to be, these two are linked together. And then obviously we've got the camera here, but on Q8s with night vision, there's a washer jet that cleans the night vision camera. And if you don't have night vision as an option, it's just blank, but there is still a link piece in the middle. Now, for some reason, I don't know, because I don't believe the front bumper was ever removed from this, that they've disconnected this pipe and removed it whilst they were taking the wiring for the camera and the bonnet. I have no clue what they were thinking, but yeah, luckily I have managed to order one, and it is in stock. I don't have to wait 3 months for it. So I'll be connecting that in a moment, and we can get the front bumper on, and it can go off to the body shop.
So after getting that new link piece, literally just slotted that on, as you can see, and then refitted the front bumper. Just waiting for that trim along the bottom, which I will fit when it turns up. That was another 150 quid. But that means the front end then should be complete.
So the bumper is all now back on. I've just parked the car over here because we're now going to fit the interior headlining. I've left the car running because it's really hot today. So the aircon is blazing on the interior.
It's going to keep you nice and cool. But yeah, the front bumper looks really good. Considering it was repaired instead of replaced, I'm really, really happy that everything's clicked in fine. This is a new gloss black trim. I've just fitted that. We can see obviously the new grille fitted, new camera, and excuse the noise for the fan for the AC compressor, but all new top panel, all new latch. For the bonnet hooks, I just need 3 clips to hold this little trim piece in, and that is everything under here done. So yeah, really happy with the front end now. I've just fitted one wheel arch trim as well. I'm just going to put the other one in position, and they literally just pop on. I'll show you that in a sec. And yeah, we just got to put this oh, I need to turn that music off. Don't want to get a copyright infringement. Oh, I'll tell you what's lovely and cold in there. So yeah, just got to refit the interior. So I'm going to go grab the headlining now. I've just got to plug those few little bits in, and yeah, we should be gravy. Now, I've got to replace the speaker grille from the headlining because, as you can see, it is cracked and all broken. But weirdly, it's pushed in. So I've got a new one here. It's pushed in, and then there's these metal clips here, look, which you just cannot get off. So I'm going to try just cutting. I don't even think that's going to work. I don't really know how to get these off, I'll be honest. Which just seems weird. Why could they not just have a couple of screws or a couple of normal clips? Because I can't get this off. Alright, this may work. I can't stop them from pinging.
I did manage to find that clip that pinged off, and I managed to stop the others from pinging off and refitted the new speaker grille. A lot more difficult than it needed to be, but there we go, it's all fitted and we could fit the headlining back in. There's also a couple of electrical wires I need to replace because they've just been ripped out as well. Luckily I have loads of spare wiring, so I just managed to find one and then reconnect that up. And now it's just about all unjumbling this complete mess of a boot and putting it all back together and getting it back in a working condition. Now, I spent a long time on the wiring of the front of the reading light here because there was just one connector block of wiring which I could not work out where it went for the life of me. Now, after doing a lot more research afterwards, I found out that it was the internal microphone that had been removed from the car. I guess they thought that people were going to be listening to them, honestly. Anyway, it had been removed, so I do need to replace that. And if you remember from the first video, on the near side rear, it was a rattling door card for some reason. I just thought I'd take it apart to see what was going on. And for some reason, one of the bolts for the window regulators was loose. And this panel here with the red screws, they'd ripped off and broken. So I've had to order a new one of those.
Right, so the last piece of the puzzle before I take it to Audi to have the virtual cockpit looked at is just to pop this trim back on. So it is just clipped on, there's no bolts or anything, so she better just go straight on. So on Friday, I dropped the Q8 off at Audi for the warranty claim on the virtual cockpit. I didn't know what happened to it. I probably thought it wasn't going to get away with warranty because although there's no damage on the screen whatsoever, it looked like it had been hit for some unknown reason. Anyway, I thought, look, it might just be a genuine internal error. We'll give it a go. But they have come back and said, apparently the virtual cockpit cannot possibly be damaged. If it is damaged, it has to be by external influence only, and therefore the warranty claim was rejected. So I've just come and picked the car up, and they did a full vehicle health check of the car for me, which means I don't have to now put it on the ramp and go over the little bits I need. And we are going to go through exactly what they have said. So to replace the virtual cockpit fully is £3,000 for the virtual cockpit, and then another £700 to replace it, and I guess then obviously code it in, code the keys, etc. They have quite. I also said about the battery going flat because it keeps going flat, and they've just said new battery, even though I've already fitted a new battery. But interestingly, they wanted £240 plus VAT to replace the battery. The battery that's just under my right foot here, and it took me about 6 minutes to replace. So charging nearly £300 to do that is a bit of a, yeah. There we go, oil top up, and then they noticed the bolts missing on the slam panel, which I know about, and they just said there's a couple of bolts, not bolts, but clips missing on the rear stone guards on the rear. I'm guessing probably when the forklift picked it up, it unsettled them and the clips popped out because they are both missing on both sides. But other than that, she is absolutely perfect. No other issues. So the virtual cockpit is a very expensive problem I'm now going to have to fix. Now you can get about 150 quid. You can buy a new display and you can strip it all apart, replace that display, and it should be good. But because my fuel gauge and my coolant temp gauge also don't work properly and they're not connected to the screen, I don't think just replacing the display is going to fix my issue. So I've gone to TPS and I've had to order a new virtual cockpit. I've managed to get a bit of a discount, but I'm still paying £2,500 for a new virtual cockpit, which it is what it is. It's pretty much a brand new car, this, so I wanted it to be all properly and everything working 100%. Plus, I am now an independent workshop for Volkswagen Audi Group, which means I now have Odis software and I can now code things online. I can code keys and everything like that. And we are going to be testing that out properly now for the first time with the virtual cockpit, because I'm going to obviously code it to the car, and then I've got the spare key which I ordered, which I'm going to code as well. So I'm going to code both cars keys to the car, and yeah, that should be quite interesting. So we're going to do that, and you can probably see a bag of parts behind me as well. They are the parts that they recommended that I change. This, the clips for the front, the back, the stone guard, there was a cracked stone guard as well actually, which I've got there. It was like 20 quid, so I thought I'd just do it. And the virtual cockpit is in the back as well. So let's crack on and yeah, start fixing stuff. So I've never removed a dash before in a Q8, so I looked up the proper methods of removing the instrument cluster, and it wasn't actually that hard at all. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and it only took about 15 minutes to get to the virtual cockpit. But until my Odis tool turns up, there's nothing more I can really do there. So I'm going to move on to the rear bumper and swap it out for the new one I've got in the workshop. And removing the rear bumper, again, it wasn't that difficult. I didn't even have to remove the rear wheels. It's about 15 bolts. Take the rear lights out and the whole thing pops off. So with the bumper now off, we can see what we're going to be changing. And the whole reason I'm doing this is primarily because of this. This bit of damage here wasn't even that bad. That could have been repaired quite easily, but it was the damage to not only the diffuser bit here, it was then this panel here, and it was just the bit there as well. It's annoying, but I ended up buying a new bottom half of the bumper, and as you can see, that also needed respraying because it wasn't as good condition as that one. But while I was there, I thought I'd have the whole thing, including obviously the diffuser here, painted in body colour, because I just think it looks better than having plain like satin grey finish. I thought this looked really nice. So that is what we're going to do, and just swapping this bottom half and putting it onto the top half of this bumper, and that should leave us with one good bumper.
So once I connected the new lower part of the bumper to the old top part of the bumper, I could refit it, connect all the wiring back up, and then address a few issues I found when I was refitting the interior. That is, the subwoofer box had been broken, and also that part for the near side rear door card.
Right, so the rear bumper's now on, and yeah, it looks nice. You can't really tell the difference because it doesn't look too dissimilar to what it looked like before. There's been very subtle touches. Obviously the diffuser now in gloss black. It's not that obvious, and yeah, it looks great. And the plus side is we now have a non-damaged rear bumper there, which hasn't actually needed to be repaired. It's been replaced and painted. I am going to do obviously a total roundup of all costs at the end of this video because yeah, there's a lot of little ones adding up, and there's a few more here as well. So I have my new sub box because the old one had been broken in that corner. And when you turn the volume up, it just distorted. Obviously, it sounded crap, so it had to be replaced. We've got our new side door trim because whoever decided to remove the old one broke all the lugs, so it couldn't go back on again. So we've got a new one of those as well. And I actually haven't looked myself, but when Audi had it in for its vehicle health check, they said that this stone guard was cracked and they advised replacing. I don't know how cracked it is, we're about to find out. And it also said that the 4 clips, 2 on each side, were also all missing. So they advised obviously 4 new clips, which I have quite big old things, but there's 4 new clips here. So I am going to now just whip under the car and replace that and put the other 2 clips in the other side. Now, frustratingly, my dongle, my VAS dongle to be able to do the coding was supposed to turn up today. Shock horror, Every said, we can't deliver it, there's been a problem, so we're gonna try again tomorrow. So annoyingly, yeah, we can't complete this today. It's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. And that is gonna be the last thing remaining on the car, getting all the coding, doing all that. And after that, yeah, she's gonna be done. So I'm gonna, yeah, as I said, just replace those stone guard bits, sub box and the door panel, and then await for tomorrow. So I'm just going to roll under the car here and do it outside. It's probably easier. Fit that new stone guard and the 4 new bolts for the rear axle, and also replace our door card plate as well for a new one. You can see here where they've ripped all the bolts off, so it wouldn't work, so I had to buy a new one. Clip all those back in, and that is that done. Right, I'm just going to chirp in here, and I'm just filming my phone because there's a lot going on. I only have paid for 1 hour diagnosis. I've finally got the bloody thing working. It's taken me 2 days to get this working. I'm just doing the test plan. I've had to put the laptop in the house to get Wi-Fi, connect. Oh, honestly, it's been a nightmare. But I've got less than an hour to get this sorted. I'm just doing the test plan for replacing control unit, and it's now told me to unplug this. So I need to try and get this out of here again. So I'm going to switch it for the new one, and hopefully this all goes well. Oh, hello. I've managed to plug the new one in. And obviously everything's naught at the minute, so now I need to go back to the diagnostic machine and hopefully program it. So this is me just doing the activation of component protection, installing the new control module, and it's successful, which is good. Car key is out there. It keeps getting to turn the ignition off and on. Right, so now it's doing SVM, which is basically putting everything that the car has, so the mileage, all the spec that the car has, and it's installing it to the instrument cluster. It's also doing key coding, hopefully, and yeah, everything else. And you can see I've got 45 minutes left to get this sorted. Right, sorry, I'm still using my phone because I don't actually know where my camera is. Right, I've just done the test plan. It has done 6,800 miles. I thought it was kilometers, but oh well. But apparently it's all worked, so now it should start. It does, yes, which means it's worked. Key works. I now need to turn this off because obviously you can now see I've got a load of other faults that I need to sieve my way through. So I'm just going to turn this back on and work my way through the other test plans. I've only got 40 minutes left, so I'm probably not going to film. I'm just going to try and crack on. I've also got another key to code too. Right, so first of all, I've left the car running because it's 31 degrees today and I want the aircon on while I jump inside. But yeah, the car obviously aesthetically, it looks absolutely incredible. It's such a good looking car. All damage is now rectified on the exterior. Nice new rear bumper. And the good thing is that diffuser getting painted at the bottom is really subtle. You can't really notice it. It blends in very nicely. You wouldn't otherwise know. And yeah, got my rear wiper little nozzle in, and all that's done as well. And yeah, the car just looks absolutely incredible. Now, my first attempt with Otis and online coding actually went very well as well. A little bit hectic because I had to go close to the house and run backwards and forwards to get the Wi-Fi, but I have now bought a little router now, so I should be able to tether off my phone, so we should be able to, it's a little bit better going forward. But the reason it was a bit hectic is because I only had an hour to do stuff, and although now I've got the instrument cluster working, it's all working very well, all back together, it has revealed a lot more faults. So I'm just going to jump inside, because as you can see, it's all fully coded, yet there are loads of faults. And if I just scroll you through them, air suspension, maneuver, loose wheel warning, ESC faults, TPMS, adaptive lights, start stop, main beam assist, lane departure warning, safety system, pre-sense. There are genuinely about 14 or 15 faults in the car, which obviously I wasn't aware of before. Now, as I said, because you have to pay to use Otis, I'll only use it when I need to. I will use my top-down scanner the rest of the time, but I've just done a scan. So if we just go diagnostic plan, and it's now going to tell me all my fault codes I've got. Now, it looks probably worse than it is, but because these days control modules talk to each other a hell of a lot, and they're all connected, the chances are this is probably just one or two faults. There's basic setting issues, which is probably from flat battery. But the main issue I think we've got is in our chassis control unit, because it's got 12 DTCs and it has invalid data from all the control modules that have faults in. So I believe this is at fault. And if we look there, look, it's got internal malfunction. Now I'm actually refilming this whole section I'm doing right now, because I was going to leave it there because obviously it required a lot more investigation and warranty issues, and it was going to be a whole new video basically trying to work all that out. But while I was editing this video, I realized that I can look at TPIs now, which is called means technical product information. It's basically a list of common issues with cars, and the common issues have been fixed by Audi, and they tell you how to fix those common issues. And I was looking for TPIs, and I found a TPI for this exact code, the B200FFO, internal malfunction of the chassis control unit. Now I'm going to put it up now, but it basically tells you, I mean, this should be warranty, but I'm just thinking just to save the ag and try and do it myself first. And it actually tells you to do the control, go through Otis and replace the control unit test plan, but without actually replacing the control unit. I think maybe it thinks it does like a factory reset on it. And I'm hoping that this is going to cure our issues, because we have had battery faults, and it does say that one of the issues can be if your battery goes flat, it messes up the control unit. So I'm now going to go back onto Otis. We're going to do the test plan for replacing chassis control unit, and hopefully this clears all our problems. If it doesn't, the TPI then says just to continue the guided fault finding and basically do whatever it says, which inevitably will end up with replacing the control unit. But the control unit's £1,000, it's in the middle of the dash. I will be booking it in for warranty if it gets to that point. So let's crack on. I'm going to take it over so I've got some Wi-Fi. We'll plug Otis back in and we'll see if we can get rid of these faults. Right, I'm just running through the test plan now. I've got my little setup. I've had to buy a router to connect my phone to it, to use my phone as a hotspot. So then it wirelessly connects to my Otis dongle. And I'm now just in the middle of replacing control unit, and it's told me to replace it. I'm going to wait 30 seconds or so, press done. And then hopefully it's going to configure the new control unit, and fingers crossed that's going to work. But if it doesn't, yeah, it needs to go off the warranty. So is this going to work? Oh, the activation of the running gear control unit has been performed successfully. Yes. However, has it fixed our problem? That is the question. Ah, there we go. Ignition is now remotely switched back on and off. Yeah, that didn't work. Done all the test plan for replacing the control module. Did it all absolutely fine, coded fine, updated via servers, all absolutely fine. But I've gone to then do basic settings, and it's basically said there's an internal fault with the control module, blah, blah, blah. So it's still there. I've just come out of guided functions, gone back into it, cleared the codes, reread them, and the code for internal malfunction is still present. So unfortunately, that means I can really do no more, especially when it's under warranty. A new control module is £1,000. There's a common problem with it as a TPI, so it can go back into Audi for them to sort it out and finish it off, because yeah, I don't want to be paying for something when it's under warranty. So unfortunately, it's a really sour end to the video because the car's not fixed and it's kind of out of my control at the minute. But it is what it is. I don't know if it's going to be a full video updating you when it's done. We do have to do a full cost breakdown, which I will do in the next video. I might just do a very short video updating the faults when it's all fixed, and we'll do a full cost breakdown. But for now, I'm kind of stuck. There's nothing really more I can do. So as always, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe if you like stuff like this. Now we have Otis as well. Probably going to be, sorry, but I'm probably going to be doing more VAG-based stuff because that's what I like to do, and I've got the proper software to do it. So it also means if I get any more EVs, I can remotely energize the battery and stuff like that as well. So that's a really good sign. So yeah, a bit of a sour one, but it is what it is. Can't have everything. Cheers, guys.